Hey everyone, Shawn Clement here, and wow, what a weekend we've had with Gabriel Wolf and Rebecca Luthwaite. We had the most unbelievable seminar yesterday at the Richmond Hill Golf Club, and thanks to everyone who was there. We had over 50 people in the room, and from all different kinds of backgrounds. The questions were phenomenal, and it was just 3 hours of non-stop aha moments, and that really gave us some great insight as to how the brain works, how the human body is really designed to learn motor skills, and what are the conditions, the optimal conditions that allows the human brain and body to learn and retain motor skills. Now, one of the things that we talked about that really hit home for me was the fact that anytime you're thinking internally, meaning you're thinking about what body part you're going to use or what muscle you're going to use, beware of anyone out there listening to these biomechanics experts who are really tuning you into all the different, body parts and micromanaging all of the different body parts, which is really massive sabotage to this machine. So we talk simply about a force plate. So obviously you see a lot of force plate technology out there. We've got a dynamic balance machine that's collecting dust right now in our academy. We paid over 20 grand for it when I was up at Taboo, my career's home course. And it was fantastic for confirming what we knew was correct. But then why would we want to ever repeat that? What we're trying to do is repeat the task, which gives us the proper movements in the swing. And so on this force plate, we were asking this is a study that they've done with Luthwaite and Wolf. They simply put a foot on the force plate, and they asked the person to focus on the calf muscle, so with the front of the foot, and they're pushing down with the calf muscle, and to focus the attention on the calf muscle as they were pushing down. And then in the next study, the next group on the study, they said just simply push down on the force plate and focus on applying pressure to the force plate. Don't think about the calf muscle. And what was, and they said that they've done over 120 studies with different muscle groups and different body parts in that sense. And then they looked at, because what they did is they put these electrodes to see which muscles were firing when they were performing that task. And when you're focused on the calf muscle, what ended up happening was the anterior tibialis as well as the calf muscle were both firing simultaneously. And when they were just focusing on putting pressure on the force plate, only the calf muscle was firing, and the anterior tibialis was completely relaxed. So what ends up happening is when you're focusing on placing the golf club with or placing your body parts into different positions, your brain is actually having to use both muscle groups at the same time. It's like basically driving with the foot on the gas and on the brake at the same time. So you're significantly reducing the amount of efficiency in the swing, and you're augmenting the amount of effort in the swing. So let's say we have a nice sword, and we wanted to use the weight of the sword to slash through that bamboo shoot. So hold your club at the bottom of the shaft and use the weight of the club to slash through. And you'll notice the ease and efficiency that you're able to use to slash through, versus I'm going to make sure I use my elbow or my bicep or my forearm muscle to cut through that bamboo shoot. So what ends up happening is the whole system becomes extremely rigid, and you've got all these different muscle systems being activated needlessly in order for you to accomplish that task. So when I'm standing over the ball, what I see, you look at, so many of our analogies, I'm seeing my dandelion stem. That's exactly how we went and played this morning, had a great time. And I think I had 14 greens in regulation. And I kept on firing beautiful shots at my flag sticks, and all I had was, there's my dandelion stem, and my focus was, well, when I throw the club in the direction of my target, throw the club out there. So if I'm going to the right edge of that intermediate point, which I have right here on the mat to go right edge of that flag, I see that dandelion stem, and I'm going, if I throw the club to the target, I will miss the stem. I will miss the stem. Oh, there we go. Now I got the stem below the equator of the ball. I got the stem at ground level. That's what I'm looking for. So if I throw the club out there, I've got the dandelion stem. What's it feel like when I throw the club out there with ease? And you see, you know, the pause at the top of the swing, because I don't have all these pulling and pushing opposing muscle groups firing together at the same time. And that's why you see this ease of movement and this beautiful, efficient slash that gets you through that ball. So that's just one of the nuggets, and that was one of dozens that we received during this very important seminar. So I like to keep it at that. So what you're looking for is, you've got a target, the means by which you deliver to the target. So another one that we use is, imagine a door frame, and you're squeezing the ball through the door frame with the weight of the hammer. So it's like if I had a heavy axe in my hands or a sledgehammer, I feel the weight of the hammer, and I'm going to use the weight of the hammer to squeeze that ball in that direction. So I would never heave behind me. I'd have to pick the axe back up or the sledgehammer back up. I'd never heave away from me. It would fall into me. I'd never heave upwards, because that doesn't fit the task. I can't go that way. The only place I can actually heave this is here. So when I'm using the weight of the sledgehammer, see how effective that is? That was right on the screws. Got my intermediate point, got my posture, dynamic posture that allows me to find that intermediate point. I feel the weight of my instrument, gather the weight, bang. Efficient, easy to operate, very easy to sling the weight of the instrument, and, very pleasant. Hope you enjoyed that. See you in the next one.